Shout out to our sponsors at IconBet. Open source, decentralized gaming, no deposits, play straight from your wallet. IconBet, made by the players, for the players. Eye on Icon is proudly supported by Icon Nation and the Icon community. Hey everyone, welcome back to Eye on Icon. This is the episode we bring you all the news around the Icon ecosystem. And with me today is Icongrapher. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, good man, good. Just been wrapping my head around this seed migration, banging my head against the wall going, why is it so confusing? Why? But yeah,
Yeah, and and I know you'll get into that in a little bit here. And I guess we'll talk about why. But in terms of the pretty interesting week as far as the markets are concerned. It seemed like we were just going to endlessly just going to be bouncing in that. I think it was like 30-ish to like 33-ish range. And I was kind of saying, all right, well, we'll just hang out here for a while. Maybe deviate outside of it every once in a while, but this seems to be home for now, as far as Bitcoin's concerned. And then, you know, someone alerted to me about what happened, and then you look and it's just this massive green candle. So, and now we're hovering around that 38 to 40-ish range, and keep hitting against 40. So certainly a nice thing to see. Not only was there a big green candle for Bitcoin, but there was, I guess, unfortunately, a big green candle for the Bitcoin dominance chart, which kind of shows how alts are doing. So obviously alts went up across the board pretty much. I don't think any went down with that, but they certainly didn't go up with the sort of magnitude that Bitcoin does. But that's kind of a similar process to what we've seen in the past, where yeah, Bitcoin will go up, but it's not like alts go up at a similar proportion or percentage or anything like that. So hopefully once Bitcoin kind of settles down a little bit and kind of once people absorb this, absorb the huge hit in price, ideally we'll see the dominance start to fade a little bit and the alts start to creep up a bit. I don't know what that will look like. I'm just kind of saying how historically things have gone. Or we could see Bitcoin decide to crash again and then, ruin everything, or decide to do another massive candle again and, also ruin everything as far as alts are concerned. But either way, it's good to see Bitcoin green rather than red, and potentially rather than, just hovering around the low 30s, kind of doing nothing. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. There are a lot of theories kind of about what exactly happened, but it looks like potentially a short squeeze, which sounds about right. I'm not an expert on these things in particular, but usually you don't see something like that, unless something, short squeeze just kind of happens. And the fact that it's been able to stick around for a few days and it wasn't just kind of I was worried we'd see it shoot up and then, you check it 2 hours later and we're back to 35, 34, something like that. But it does seem to be holding reasonably well. And I think we're on day 8 or 9 of consecutive green candles, assuming we close again green here. So certainly more positive outlook than what we saw last week. And again, it's nice to see ICX creeping back toward that dollar range, still kind of hovering in the 80s, but hopefully we'll be getting there soon.
yeah. Look, I think just taking a moment, the on-chain data people are celebrating. They've been calling consistently that accumulation's happening and we're getting close, and then there's this short squeeze and they kept talking about it, that it's getting there, it's getting there, getting there. And you would see all the comments around this, people going, oh, these guys are crazy, they're just trying to throw everyone off. And so I think when we saw that giant green candle all of a sudden explode, you had these group of people who've consistently been pitching this narrative that this is what's transpiring based on-chain data. I'm very happy, and I agree with the iconographer. Even right now we can see this 40,000 seems to be a struggle where either we're just breaking right through it, but then it's not lasting for more than 24 hours or even 12 hours. It seems to just keep, but that's good. Let's hope
Yeah,
it.
I would. I mean, I wouldn't mind if we. I kind of see it like we leveled up a little bit,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't mind hanging out at this level for a little bit and letting alts, let the market breathe a little bit. Let alts catch up. Maybe ICX and other tokens are able to kind of, the ICX is able to climb up to like the 120, 130 range and maybe start to, create a new base there. And then maybe we get kind of, the second wave of market growth, relative to what we had in that, the first quarter of the year.
Yeah. Nah, let's see how it goes. But yes, look, well, hopefully it's positive. But markets, we want to hope, and it'll just take it away from us. So let's not get carried away with it. But so far, looking good. And even when you look at Bitcoin, like I just look at usually the 4 hour stuff, or even dailies, consistently on the new trend, breaking in new highs. So that's a good sign until it isn't. But yeah, look, let's dive in. That's enough about the market so far. It's good to see a bit of positivity in the market. It makes you feel happier, especially when you wake up and things haven't gone red and doom and gloom. So it's got me in a good headspace, and I'm sure it impacts everyone's headspace in that way. It shouldn't, but it does. Uh, okay, the news. Let's dive in. So, first things first, I thought let's tackle the seed migration. We know.
And well, this is where we'd if we were like a TV show or something, there'd be red signs flashing saying this is important. Because if you're a seed holder, which I think a lot of our iconists are, you certainly hold some. So be sure to listen to this part and take strong note of the deadlines that Fez is going to walk through here.
Yes, and I'm going to try my best to get it right. I have got the document open on the screen as well. I encourage everyone. I have shared a link. I'll make sure this is linked into show notes. I will make sure that is there. I say this sometimes and forget, but I will. And a few things
And
to.
this is and this yeah, this is a and we mentioned this I think last episode,
Yeah,
maybe the episode before, that this process was happening. And basically there's an upgrade, just to kind of quickly iterate for those who missed it. There's an upgrade, I guess the upgrade migration happening within the Sesame Seed ecosystem. And of course, like most things in crypto, it isn't very easy and straightforward necessarily. But we have further details, and so as I said, I'll stop interrupting Fez and let him talk now.
data. Oh, good. It's good. I'm so worried about getting the information right. I haven't given any context, so good cover. Thank you. Thank you. Um, okay,
Yes.
so we know, as Icongrapher mentioned, Seed is basically getting pulled into Unify. So, and we all know what Seed was. It essentially captured various chains, proof of stake rewards, and it was backed by those chains tokens. So it always had a redeem value and wasn't just based on market price speculation, which was cool. So as they're migrating to Unify and simplifying the process a little bit, all seed holders have to perform certain actions or be aware of certain things. So that's what I want to quickly run you through. First things first, I'll talk as if it's on Icon, but a lot of this process is similar for all the chains, especially what I'm highlighting here. So I've got something highlighted on the screen, but I'll talk through it. So from now until the 31st is your opportunity to swap your seed or move your seed, I should say, to the
31st of July.
July. That's right. To move your seed to the blockchain you want the migration to happen on. So, and what I mean by that is, so for example, if you have seed on Icon at the moment and you leave it on Icon, post the 31st of July, there will be a snapshot, and from the 5th of August to the 4th of September, based on the snapshot, you will be able to claim up. That's how this will work, and I'll break this down a bit further on the chain you've left your seed on. Okay, so this is important because at the moment there is an opportunity to get a couple of bonuses if you were to migrate your seed across to Binance Smart Chain and do the claim process on Binance Smart Chain. Now, what those bonuses are, stuff, I am not going to get into that. That is for you to research. It is, doing what Seed does. they're incentivizing it there, but it is, I can't break it down correctly. So, but if you're a user just worried about not losing your seed, the simplest thing for you to do is on Icon, and you just don't want to be stressed by it, is leave your seed where it is at the moment. When the snapshot happens, that's when the next step you have to process is you go to Unify, the Utrade protocol, and you'll be able to claim the up based on the seed you had. And the difference here is, remember I talked about seed has a redeem value. So for Tron, Harmony, Icon, one other some other chain, and it also has a redeem value for Unify. So what happens here is you will get up in the value that you have seed bar the Unify component. The Unify component will get paid out in the Unify token on Binance Smart Chain, and you'll have to put in an address as part of that. So I just wanted to break that up. So coming back to the first step, your option till the end of July is either one, you can take your seed to Sprout and actually redeem it for the native chains, all the native chains tokens, and then you're done and dusted. You don't have to worry about any migration because you have all the native tokens as part of the redeem process. But if you don't want to do that, you want to actually move your seed to another blockchain like Binance Smart Chain, you will have to use Sprout to move seed from Icon to Binance Smart Chain before or by the 31st, and then just leave it in your wallet. Then after the snapshot, from the 5th of August to the 4th of September, whichever chain you're on, you can go to Utrade and you can redeem the up from the seed. So whatever seed you had, it'll form its value in up, and you can claim.
You're basically
that.
swapping. You're swapping your seed for the up.
Exactly. So bar the Unify component of seed, which will then it will ask you to put in a Binance Smart Chain address, and that will get paid out on September 13, 2021. So there will be a delay there. So you claim up on that blockchain August 5th to the 4th of September. So there's a nice month there. Then the seed portion to Unify will happen by the 4th of September as well, and Unify will be distributed on September 13, 2021 on the Binance Smart Chain. So those are your key dates. I've got them up on the doc. I will have the link. Make sure you review it. But I hope that's helped. So this is important. So if you do nothing, yes, the snapshot process will capture your seed, but you will need to claim up manually. That will not happen automatically. You would have to go to Utrade on your chain and then claim your up for your seed value. And remember, one of the things with up, and this sometimes confuses, is as time goes on between that month, the longer you leave it, you will end up with less up as part of the migration, because every time more up is minted, it's slowly going up in value because always part of the process is whatever fees and stuff get allocated to the up token. It grows all the pre-minted tokens. It grows in value. So something to keep in mind. And again, the doc does a job of really breaking down all this information. But those are some of the quick highlights. So definitely make sure you're across it.
And just to clarify, say someone's been on vacation, they're just now listening to this episode like 2 weeks from now, they have no idea any of this happened. They can still take obviously they missed moving it before the snapshot to a different chain and getting potentially, if they wanted those bonuses, obviously they're out of luck. But that being said, it's not like their seed, all of a sudden is locked or frozen. As long as they take their, the ICX Icon blockchain version of seed and exchange it for the up, they're still good to go, even if they do it in the middle of August or something like that. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly.
They'll still get, they'll just miss the only thing you're doing. The only thing you're doing by not moving your tokens to BSC, Binance Smart Chain, by the 31st is you're going to miss out on those bonuses. Otherwise, you'll still be able to convert your seed to up, as long as you get it done by September 4th, correct?
Bingo. And this is something to keep in mind. Those dates do stick. So for example, if you haven't moved post, you find yourself on the 1st of August, oh crap, I wanted to move to Binance Smart Chain today. Too late. Do not move it then. You need to leave your seed where it is. Even after the snapshot, don't try to migrate or move it into any other wallet, because the snapshot is based on that wallet where you had your seed. So if you've then moved your seed into another wallet and tried to connect it in Utrade, it will not have the up tokens that belong to you in terms of the value of the seed you had. It won't have that there. It will only have it to the snapshot wallet, and that is extremely important to understand. Um, I think if you're worried, the simplest point is remember those dates and don't move anything if you don't know what you're doing or don't want to capitalize on an opportunity on the
or
other
don't
chain.
want to scramble for the next 2 days before
Exactly, exactly.
the snapshot deadline.
Yeah, just make sure you hit those dates because, for example, after the particular dates, certain aspects may not be available anymore. So, just be wary of that. But yeah, I think that's the doc is extremely detailed, but I think we've given a very simplified overview. Yeah, done. Oh, this was very stressful for me.
Well, hopefully, hopefully there's a non-zero chance that tutorial video comes out once the redeem feature is available after August 5th.
Yes.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. Hopefully. Are you hinting at me to do one?
Just hypothetically, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I'll work on it. Cool. Okay. Well, what else have we got? Okay, let's
Well,
dive in.
onto less complicated matters
That,
and more artistic ones. We did have the Project Nebula launch this week.
yes, we did. In fact, on the screen you can see I am exploring the galaxy, and I am actually going to put through a little bit of an intro, getting started with the game. Maybe later today I'll record the video, but you can see it has launched the first play to earn video game, I should say. There's other games on the Icon network, but is Project Nebula, a space theme where you can explore the galaxy. You can uh, find things, resources, planets, upgrade them, and I'll save this for the tutorial. But essentially, you gain more resources and then keep working. Look, what is great about this game? Like you can't sit there spending 2-3 hours just playing it consistently. It is literally you play it for short bursts because everything is time dependent on how and what you need to do to fly the ship around, and your resources grow every hour. So once you've consumed them, you kind of have to play the waiting game. But I love that. I have other things to do, so I don't want to just, lose time playing, even though I love video games. But yeah, so based on that, Project Nebula launched, loving every second of it. I've gone through most of my loot boxes because I had a few Gen Zero planets, and part of if you heard the interview, the part of the game launch, the Gen 1, all the planets are actually discoverable in the game as you play them, which is cool because you don't have to buy it in the marketplace. The only thing you have to buy to get started is a ship, and if you didn't get one of the retro drops for early people who bought the Gen Zero planets that the team gave, if you didn't get that, you can go to the marketplace and buy the ship. It's around 125 ICX, and then get started in exploring the galaxy. Once you have that ship, just for everyone listening, you don't need more ICX than to play the game. I mean, sure, you will come across planets that you have to pay ICX to pick up, but you'll also come across planets you can claim with the in-game currency over here, as you can see it highlighted. So, it's just that one initial for the ship, but then once you play it, you have a choice of navigating around, not spending any more actual ICX to acquire things in the game and just finding things that are with in-game credits. So, yeah, love it. Love the entire set, how it's... I love that every time I journey after 24 hours and I get a lot of fuel in my ship. I fly around these squares and I start finding heaps of cool stuff and resources. It's great. Have you been playing it, Icongrapher?
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously this is something that's been on our radar for I think over a year now. And so certainly a lot of anticipation and excitement, and we've been seeing little snippets of it, and we've done multiple interviews with the team and talked about it a good amount. And I know a lot of people in the community were kind of pretty hyped for it. So it's one of those things where expectations were high, and you always get a little, or at least I got a little nervous just because making games that are fun is hard. There's a lot of not good video games out there compared to the few that are good. So you always kind of get nervous that you'll start playing it and be kind of disappointed. But I can say after at least after day one, that certainly didn't happen to me. It's kind of nice. I woke up this morning and I said, oh yeah, got to, because I wasn't sure exactly what time it launched because I wasn't sure of time zone, but I figured by the time I woke up, then it would be good to go. And sure enough, it was. And so just kind of you had the music, the very, very peaceful, spacey kind of music playing in the background. So it was kind of a nice way to start the day. And yeah, every time, who could have thought that clicking on basically a little square could be kind of exciting, but it kind of is just because anytime you click on one, you don't know what you're going to necessarily discover. And I hadn't done a whole lot of, I've been busy, so I haven't done a whole lot of deep diving in terms of like what all the rules are, what the objects are, and things like that. So each one I found was even more of a surprise, just because I was kind of poking around and figuring out, oh, what's this thing do? Why is it good? And so it's pretty easy to figure out for the most part, pretty quickly. And so and as you said, it's nice that it's not something you can get sucked into. It's more of just something you can kind of do, I would say, maintenance on, and just check up on and still tinker with. So it's kind of there's almost kind of a little everyone can have their own little icon routine every morning where it's wake up, claim your staking rewards if you don't have them in SICX. Go claim your balance rewards, and then go update and do some little exploration with your ship because it regenerates fuel every 24 hours. So, and then if you want to now if you have more credits to upgrade a planet or something like that, you could certainly do that. And so it'll be a nice little habit to have. And what's cool is for those who are lucky enough to have planets already or will soon own planets, the fact that as you own them now, they're kind of just raw canvases. They're all kind of equal. But obviously, over time, as you play the game more and more, and if you improve your planet a good amount, and add in all sorts of, harvest all sorts of resources and build all sorts of infrastructure, if the day ever comes where you decide, hey, I've built this up and I think it's kind of worth something, the market could get kind of interesting because again, people are buying planets that they're not just blank canvases anymore. Each one's going to be more and more unique in its own right in terms of what its capabilities are and how good it is and all that other stuff. So that'll be kind of cool to watch moving forward and over the long term. And it looks like there's a pretty good community behind the game already.
Hmm.
I will say there were, I stumbled upon a couple solar systems and it said there were planets there, and I got all excited. And of course, you go in there and they're already claimed because I think they're all Gen
Gens.
Zero, so they're all in. Yeah,
Me
so
too.
that was
Me
one thing that
too.
that was one thing that threw me off and a little disappointing, but obviously, that's how it goes. But I think being able to continue to explore and eventually stumbling upon unclaimed planets, I think that'll be a nice little rush too. So,
I,
and I assume as time goes on, they'll continue improving the game and adding different elements and tweaking with it and everything else like that. So it'll be the game itself is interesting, but I think watching that ecosystem evolve, both in terms of kind of what gets added and how people value planets and how they build them out and all that other stuff it'll be really cool to watch.
Yeah, and to give a bit of context, I actually have the marketplace, and you can see the marketplace is flooded with all these Gen Zero planets that was released before the game launched. Gen One is all in the game, as you heard me say. Even if you had to spend that 125 ICX, you can see someone's found a Gen One rare planet and put it up for 1,200 ICX for auction. So. Um, and they may have. I happen to know for a fact a rare in the game was if you had to pay ICX was I think around 125 ICX. It could range around there. So the marketplace, it is quite profitable play to earn if to get exploring the galaxy. And this has just been put up without any upgrades. Imagine soon you spend some time with these planets, upgrading them, and they're generating far more resources, experience, I'm using all the wrong words, credits, research, and industry points, and they become far more valuable than even the current going rate. So look, I mean, it could go the other way as well. As more planets flood the market, it levels the price a little more. But overall, it is cool to just be able to play a game over time, and some of your accomplishments you can kind of cash in. And Axie Infinity, that's a great example, of as more and more players are starting to flood it. It had a period of extreme highs, then leveled, and now it's gone bonkers again because there's a huge player user base. So anyway, if you haven't already, and especially if you've some of the seed community have been listening to the earlier what you need to do to ensure you're prepared for seed, and you've stayed on to listen to the podcast. Play to earn game. If you haven't trekked into Icon, just jump on. It is so simple to get started with this game. It's insane. It's literally 2 clicks and off you go. And yeah, your chance to play a quite a cool, fun, entertaining game. Okay, what else do we have, Icongraph? I feel we could keep talking Project Nebula, but we shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, we gotta let people play and decide on their own at some point. So,
Yeah.
well, on a similar on the NFT front, we finally have a official launch date for Craft, which, if you've been listening to this podcast, is the um, kind of the major NFT marketplace that is launching soon. And by soon, I mean we have a launch date. So that actual date is August 3rd. And so for those of you, obviously we have NFT Bazaar, which some folks use. But for people who are looking for something, it's very similar to OpenSea, just in kind of terms of its UI and its user interface experience and things like that. A lot of highly anticipated, and I know they came out with their alpha a few months ago, and I've had a chance to play around with it. Works really well, very straightforward. And since that time, in my head, I was kind of like, okay, this is it's got to be pretty close. It does everything kind of you would expect and want it to do. But it seems to me that the team has been, I don't know if it was necessarily mission creep, but they've certainly decided to add a whole lot more than what was there, just based on kind of what they've been indicating, what they've been talking about. There's a few features that have been announced over the last week or so that weren't known before. One of them being the ability to do sound, so you can do music or other sound files or things like that, which previously wasn't available. Also, they mentioned there would be kind of an auction system if you want to do that. So instead of saying, this is what this costs, you can instead people can make offers on it. I don't think we have the full details on how that mechanism works exactly, but just an example of how it's continued to evolve. And so that'll be really exciting. I know there's a few projects lining up. I've got one that I've mentioned before, Icon Treasury. Wineable will be on there. GangsterBet will be on there. They've also, the Craft, I saw on Twitter, they have a piece of art, which looks pretty cool, which they're using as kind of a way to do a giveaway. And that'll be available on the marketplace. So I think they've been working behind the scenes to line up a lot of different projects to make a really successful launch. I think the other part to mention is the CFT token, which is the governance token for Craft, which again we've discussed a little bit in the past. We don't have the full kind of tokenomics of it down yet. I think they indicated those will be coming out soon. But they also mentioned that users will be able to, if they want, if you're selling an item, you can accept it in ICX, or if you want, you can accept it with CFT, which is that token. So, I think they're trying to create a pretty robust tokenomic system there. Obviously, there's governance issues. Not issues, but governance abilities that are tied to the token. So being able to govern the future of the platform for those who hold tokens, that'll be certainly a nice opportunity, especially again as we mentioned last week. OpenSea, which is probably the major, most significant marketplace for Ethereum NFTs, it's been valued. I think the number was over $1 billion, if I remember correctly, based on venture capital funding that they received. So it's a wide open market, and I think having I'll certainly want to have some CFT, just because I think having a stake in that sort of platform, I think will be a nice thing to have, especially if it's able to successfully generate revenue over the long term. And I think the team working behind it, they've been working really hard on it for a long time, and I think they want to get it absolutely right. And they've been, I think, doing everything correctly to make sure that it's a successful launch, both in terms of the usability of the platform, but also in terms of the amount of economic activity happening on the platform as well.
Yeah, look, I actually I like to zone in on this. I love the integrations. Even for example, what we spent 15 minutes talking about, Project Nebula. I believe they've integrated with Craft. So while they have their own
Right.
marketplace, you can essentially throw a few planets on the Craft marketplace, just to see if you can snap up a bit of a different audience and create a bit of a rival market pricing going on. That's how I've envisioned it, but. and this is one thing I drilled Daniel on as well in our interview, was asking for clarity around this, which he did confirm. So that's just an example. But even the Wineable, we saw that was that's a great one because that was CPS funded, and there's now integration with Craft and few things going to kick off. So I really love that they've not just been building, they've been coordinating to make sure that it is successful in that way. I happen to know, actually, I've got this screenshot up, and I know I've been working with Andrew in the background and uh, DevShack for the next iteration of what we see metrics evolving into, and it's taking a lot of pivots, and you can see Andrew's comment. He's hinted at we're starting to think about how we can incorporate a lot of these crucial DeFi applications, or not DeFi, I should say dApps that are launching on Icon, Craft, Balance, Ohm, but Craft is now becoming a core component of our vision for the next iteration of the metrics app. So yeah, it's great. This is the beauty of it, isn't it, Icongrapher? Like we had staking, stake. That was all of a sudden balance. It's like, okay, everyone was trying to wrap their head around the possibilities, especially if you hadn't explored some of the more mature ecosystems out there. But once one comes and now others start to click in, and you've got a bit of a vibe of, oh yes, you earn the governance tokens if you do this, and this is where you can yield farm, then all of a sudden you get presented these options. Okay, you can stack multiple times the way you could potentially earn yield, and your brain explodes. So this is just a world of opportunity that's coming up just in the Icon ecosystem, which is great to see. It's what we've been excited since we started the podcast, so it's good to see it all coming to fruition. And speaking of which, shall we move on? Next topic is, what have I got here? Well, we all saw this and got excited. I won't spend too much time, but this is a big one. We knew about it because we explored the GitHub page, if I recall, Icongrapher, in one of our community chats. But it's
Yeah, it was unofficially announced.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Sorry, go ahead, man.
yeah, but we now have a official announcement for the Near blockchain integrating with BTP, and I say official just because they've the Near the near side of things, the near blockchain, from their perspective, from their internal operation, they've started doing some marketing about it on their side. So obviously, we've been talking about it plenty in the Icon community just because we have seen that GitHub project being worked on, and it had been acknowledged by Scott as well. But for now, at this point in time, now the near community is hearing more and more about it. So that's kind of the at the very baseline, what one of the benefits of BTP is it starts to tie communities together, give other communities more exposure to Icon, and Near has been doing a good job of kind of promoting why it's advantageous for Near holders, because they can they're able to basically utilize the services that are available on Icon, and kind of vice versa as well. So it's nice to see that being touted. And Near, it's I don't know a whole lot about it. I haven't been able to do a deep dive yet, but it's not just some random project or something like that. It's, as far as market cap is concerned, it's around number 80. Not that market cap is always the best indicator of the quality of your project, but I would say that if something's number 80, it's got a little bit more legs than if something's number 500 or something like that. So good sized community behind it. Pretty legitimate project. So certainly nice to see them start to ramp up some of their promotional efforts, and as we see other integrations and connections start to heat up a bit more, I imagine we'll see more of that the same. So we'll get more and more awareness, both of Icon, but also more importantly of the BTP service, so that once it launches, all these folks are kind of raring and ready to go, and able to use it in the way that they're hoping. So certainly nice. Again, nothing, not new news necessarily, but it's nice to have kind of a official, out to the world announcement.
Yep. Look, it was great to see. And again, they published some great articles, talking about the integration and relationship. But overall, yeah, there's nothing more to say to this. This is great, and I look forward to. I'm actually going to reach out and look forward to getting someone from near onto, just like we did with Edgeware, and having an interview so that they can give us firsthand exactly what their blockchain's about. If Because I haven't spent too much time exploring the ecosystem, but I like to hear these things firsthand. Right, that's the best part about having this podcast. So we're reaching out, and when we make the arrangements, we'll have them on so that they can break down what they do and how BTP is an asset and what they're looking forward to utilizing BTP for. I've got some screenshots here. They've made some cool infographics as well. But yeah, another
Yeah,
one.
I think, yeah, I'm looking at one of the engines right now, and they mentioned that the near dApps will be able to directly connect with products already live on Icon itself, and that also they point out that the tokens that are on BTP, so whether that's DOT or something, or Ethereum down the road, they can be used on the near DeFi infrastructure. So they have similar, I don't say similar, but comparable platforms as far as what other DeFi platforms are out there, but they have them on their own chain. So obviously, kind of one of the things that Balance has been touting as far as the ability to utilize other assets from other chains eventually down the road, Near is kind of doing as well. So that's certainly a good thing because as if you've been a diehard listener of this podcast, you know that the more BTP activity happens based on that fee auction system for ICX, the better it is for ICX holders. So the more and more that other projects want to tout using BTP as much as possible, I'm certainly here for that.
Agree. What have we got next, Icongrapher?
So with the Ohm launch coming up soon, that's another one where it should be, it kind of feels like any day we'll get an official launch date. They had their first DeFi Academy. They hosted it on the Discord channel. I was on it and listened and was available for any questions and things like that that people might have had. But basically trying to do a bit of an introductory seminar class academy is what they're calling it on DeFi, kind of aimed at people who are maybe just getting into the space. And so the first session today was a little less than an hour, but it focused on traditional finance versus centralized finance versus decentralized finance. Just kind of walk through the different differences, pluses, pros, cons, minuses, all that other good stuff. So if you're still haven't been able to dip into DeFi waters, or maybe you have but you want to learn more about it, I'd certainly encourage you to be part of those. I believe they're happening every week. It was today, was Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so West Coast of the USA. And so if you want to participate in those, I certainly encourage you to do that.
Yep, love it. I was excited about this. I've been tweeting about it. I couldn't make it. It's happened. It was just 3 a.m. my time. So, but I must say, it was a community member who put it all together. And if you looked at the agenda, my goodness, I haven't, even in my day job, haven't prepared such a great looking agenda and detailed. So kudos. So I really wanted to be there. So did you get a chance, Icongrapher, to drop in and listen in?
Yeah, I was there. I was there for the whole thing. It was very certainly very informative, and so if I've obviously tried to do I have a multi-part series explaining DeFi as well, so certainly not a world I'm unfamiliar with. So I was part of that chat, and so mostly on the listening side, but yeah, very very informative. And again, I encourage anyone who's interested to certainly tune in to future sessions.
Yep, agree. Cool. Okay, so balanced update. Look, I mean, we spent a lot of time with the balanced, talking through balanced updates. I think we had a community session. The episode just dropped yesterday. I'll just say it there. If you haven't listened to it, I think you should. Personally, I loved it. What we framed it around was Scott put out this thread of tweets talking about possibilities or the evolution of the protocol and what he hopes. I essentially just ran through that one by one with Scott and got him to elaborate a bit more and give more context to it. And a lot came out of it. For example, soon we'll be able to, what I referred to double tap, and he used another word which was quite funny as well. But you will, at the moment, to give you an idea, is you take your ICX, you put it into a balance, you get SICX, and you can take out a loan. That SICX, staked ICX, is earning your staking rewards, but it's locked. You can't do anything else with that. What they are going to evolve, and it will evolve to, is soon, and not on Ohm's launch, but as it evolves, a few releases later, you'll be able to actually take your ICX straight to Ohm, put it up as collateral to take out a loan, say of American dollars. But remember, when you use Ohm and put ICX, you get back staked ICX in the form of a different token called OSICX, which implies that you've gotten it back from Ohm. You take that, you can deposit those tokens in balanced, and then take out another loan on balance or mint BNUSD. So all of a sudden you're earning token rewards from Ohm by using the protocol, by supplying it with ICX, and then you've taken that same thing into balance and started earning balance tokens. So if the balance is giving you a yield at the moment of 60% and Ohm is giving you 100%, all of a sudden you're getting 160% on the same collateral you've used in both platforms. Brilliant. And this is what was cool about the discussion. So I've just given you an example. There's many other variations where he's talked through some of the examples he's given in the past, and what are the challenges and where they're at with it. So encourage you definitely, if you want to learn more and just learn some of the way Scott thinks about things and breaks it down, it's one to listen to. But that was all. I don't know, Icongraph, if you had a chance to give that a listen, but it was a good one.
Yeah, I also want to point out I can't remember if we mentioned this in the last episode or not. I don't think we did, but the forum for the DAO for Balanced is up and running. There's already been a pretty good amount of interest and activity over there. So good discussion as far as future of the platform. It talks about, people have ideas for new implementations of features, pros and cons, that sort of stuff. So if you're, if you have input on the future of Balanced, or you want to see how those discussions are going, I'd certainly encourage you to visit that forum, which is just a few days old, but already quite up and running.
Agree. What
Uh,
else have we got, Icongrapher?
yeah, so Icon France, the I think they're a peer up team. They made an announcement, which wasn't really on my radar. I don't know if it was in anyone's radar, but basically there's a existing kind of online game. It's called Star de Foot, which I assume is football star in France, but I took French 10 years ago and forgot most of it. So apologies if I got that wrong. But anyway, what it is a game online that allows people to kind of build out a football team. Football being if you're in America, soccer, and allows you to kind of put a team together, build up players, build up their skills, compete, all that other kind of good stuff. So basically, a simulation style game. Pretty nifty graphics. It's been around, I think, for 10 years or so. And what they're doing is they're implementing an NFT kind of blockchain aspect to it, and of course, they're using the Icon ICX blockchain for that. So certainly nice to see. What's kind of nice about this one is it's presumably already an existing user base, and it's not being built from scratch necessarily. So I think we'll see this integration happen relatively soon. That doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but obviously it's easier to take kind of an existing game that's already built out and functional, and add in NFT and blockchain capabilities into it, rather than having to build something entirely from scratch. So certainly an exciting thing. I know there's a lot of people who enjoy football around the world, and certainly in the Icon community, based on some of the little side conversations I'll see pop up on Telegram and other places here and there. Certainly a unexpected but nice announcement to see, and I encourage you to check out their Medium article if you haven't already, just to kind of get a quick overview of it. The game itself is in French, so I'm not sure how well Google Translate works on the game itself, because I think it runs on Flash. But that being said, they did say there would be an English version available once kind of this new version, this new revamped version launches. There will be an English version available, so you'll be able to enjoy it that way as well.
Yeah, look, honestly, I didn't even see this. In fact, before the show, I was asking you, what is this? Uh, it's great you brought this up. If anyone didn't know this exists, do a bit of research. But I will call out that I have. This hasn't gone through via CPS, has it, Icongrapher? They're just doing this, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I haven't seen it come through CPS. I think it's something. Yeah, exactly like you said.
Yeah. So, and Icon France, I actually recall they put through a while back a proposal in CPS, but I believe it was the a charity donation app. There was something around there, and it got denied. So, and by denied I mean people put through a bit of commentary saying they want PREPs asked for a little more detail and a little more breakdown before it got approved. So it's good to see that this hasn't discouraged a team from building, and they've come back with a product they have and expanding it out. That's great. I love it. Hopefully, and we could be wrong. We may see this in CPS, but and if we do, even better. But yeah, good to see. Good pickup, Icongraph. I would not have seen this.
Kind of just it popped up on my Twitter timeline, and I kind of had to double check it to make sure because again I hadn't heard anything about it, and it looked pretty polished from the get go, but obviously makes sense since it's a already established product.
Yep, agree. Okay, what else? Do we have any other news, Icongrapher?
I think that is pretty much it as far as what we had put together.
Yeah, look, I think then let's call out, our sponsors. We always talk about them. So they've been running a comp, and if you haven't seen it already, they've been announcing winners and 10,000 tap. So it's good to see. Love when Icon Bet starts kicking around comps. So I hope I'm excited about their referral based system and things that are going to launch. But that was a good quick little highlight. The other thing, just touching on, I guess that we're done with Icon News. I felt in the general market a couple of things that was really cool was this news around DeFi. I've actually got on the page that the Uniswap's growth pushes DeFi to 3 million total users. Now, that I would not have thought. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, we have the same 100,000 people just rotating through DeFi," but here's a great metric to go 3 million. But in the bigger scheme of things, 3 million is nothing, isn't it, Icongrapher? Like we're still so tiny.
Yeah, I don't know what that is percentage wise of the world population, but it is certainly not a high number. And it also depends on to what extent they're defining a user of DeFi. Is it anyone who's used Uniswap once, or if there's I don't know if there's a certain threshold or not. But even if it is minimal, on the one hand, I think that's a solid enough number where it shows that hey, this isn't some crazy kind of fringe thing. But the other side of that is it shows how much potential for growth there really still is if that number continues to grow to go up. Obviously.
Yeah, I agree. Look, and this is it. Yes, that 3 million, especially for Uniswap, is I guess if you so first you get into crypto, you buy some coins. You don't know much what to do with these coins. You just hope number goes up. Okay. The second thing, as you spend a little bit longer, you realize, oh wait, I can swap some of this Ethereum in a place called Uniswap to all these other tokens that could moon 100 times. Let me learn that so that I can buy these tokens.
Right.
So you default to Uniswap, and this is where the number comes from. Okay, so the simplest interaction into the DeFi world, apart from first buying the native token, Ethereum or BTC, is then jumping to Uniswap. So the next thing you can see, then it says from there, if you go to compound, you got 326,000 users. 1inch is 276,000, and SushiSwap is 200,000. So there's a huge change from 2.5 million go to Uniswap, and then the 500,000 gets dispersed to some of the other big players. But you can see the disparity there. So, and I feel over time though, it's only natural that these 2.5 million users who aren't going past Uniswap going, this is all I need, as complicated as it gets, will start dabbling a bit further as these UIs of these sites and things start to get simpler to understand, and they are quite simple, but it takes time. So this is, I felt, was a really good highlight. Oh, it's we're not even getting started here. Like, they say, it hasn't even started. We're not even in that phase. It's so true. Like, this is the sort of information that really puts perspective on how early we are in this game.
Totally.
So, and the last one, I think this is a real cool, the Smart Contract Summit. Now, I don't know, this may not be for everyone. What is great about this is it's free. Okay, there's 3 days, workshops, all kinds of AMAs, especially if you're a dev of some kind, just wanting to understand, get started. You need to get go to this. You can get tickets. It's completely free, and you just have to tune into whatever you're interested in. So I wanted to give this a plug. We're not getting any kickbacks for this. I know I'm going to try and tune in to a few of these, even though I'm not a dev and probably go all over my head. But I don't think so. I think there'll be a lot of cool breakdowns, and I think what I'm keen to learn more about is the oracles aspects, and some hopefully they keep talking about the smart contracts components and possibilities and things. Strategically, I'd like to hear the vision it can create for DeFi or blockchain in general. So I'll put this in the show notes. Definitely something that it's really cool that they've made arrangements, and even on the screen you can see, they've got everyone, like lots of big people here.
Yeah,
So
you got the founder of Aave. You've got
yeah,
a couple high ups at Chainlink. You got Synthetics founder, Celsius, their founder, and a lot of just other with a lot of the word co-founder and CEO pops up a lot on this thing. So certainly not some fringe kind of thing.
no, and you know what? I take back devs only. No, looking at this list, like Polygon, you've got Sean Ryan from Bankless, David. So it's going to be a well-rounded forum of information. Nexus Mutual Insurance. This is great. Oh wow! Just even I haven't looked through the entire list. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. And I think that's all I wanted to call out from a broader news perspective. Icongrapher, anything else from your end?
Nope, I think that's pretty much it. I think by the time we talk next time, we'll have a full week of Project Nebula, and I think a launch of Craft as well. I think that'll be, is that Monday or Tuesday? So that'll be something we'll have a chance to discuss and get excited about next week.
Cool. Look, just while we're here, Icongrapher, you're going to hear this as well. First, I was in a mad scramble to just ensure I'm fact checking the information around seed in the background talking. Hopefully, we actually may do a bit of a bonus episode, Icongrapher, with key people who understand through and through about the seed migration and get it to everyone, because I think they're getting hit with a lot of questions. So why not get this information from the source and give complete clarity? And they can even talk through a little bit of the Binance Smart Chain pairing, what bonuses you get, which I couldn't articulate even if I understood it correctly. So we'll try to get that arranged soon so that that information is fresh for all our listeners as well. But I was just chatting to someone in the background earlier, so I forgot to tell you. But yeah, look, from my end, that's it as well. Another great week of news. There's a lot of launches. We kept saying this, isn't it, Icongrapher? We have a lot of launches, and it's happening. All these launches are actually happening. Project Nebula,
Yep.
Craft next week. So
Fingers crossed. Maybe we'll have a launch date for that next time we talk, but fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. Well, in the background, I will say I am working on an animated video for Ohm, a new one, my longest one yet. I've usually tapped out at 4 minutes on creating these videos. This one's going for a whole 6 minutes. Oh yeah! So that should give an overview and possibilities for Ohm, but the video is more directed at as well for the wider audience. So if you're not an iconist, it'll be good to throw to someone to show, well, what is Ohm? They can watch that and get real good context of what it is and what it will enable anyone to do, or its users to do. So cool. Look, once again, thank you everyone for listening. Just a reminder, this is not financial advice. We're not telling you to invest. Do your own research. It's just We do our research and share our views on our thoughts on what's going on in the Icon ecosystem. You should be doing that as well, and not take this as investment advice. Iconographer, any closing words?
Nope. Just excited for the next week.
Great. Okay, everyone, like, subscribe, share this around. Thank you for listening, everyone. Take care.
See ya.